I just realized I got rid of Waterfall through Pokeaxe because I didn't think we'd need it anymore. I think you need Waterfall inside the Victory Road as well. So, hello everybody and welcome back to the second to last episode of the Pokémon Rising Ruby. I still want to say Omega Ruby. It's Rising Ruby. Bug type mono run. We're going to go through Victory Road today. That's all we're going to do. And then next episode, we're going to finish off the series with the Elite Four. I have no idea how long this episode is going to be. This could very well be a decently short episode. Everybody is level 70 because we're going to be facing Wally today, who goes up to level 72, which is, mathematically speaking, higher than 70. And I am kind of terrified about that team because I have no idea what the team is actually going to be like. I know it's ranging from level 70 to level 72, and I have a decent amount of healing items. So I feel somewhat confident that we can do something. But we might have to go at it 2 or 3 times in the end. Then again, all the wild Pokemon around here are only about level 60, so that shouldn't be any trouble for us whatsoever. I have no idea what route we're going to go through the Victory Road. I think Victory Road is the same as it is in the original GBA games, right? Is it? It might be different. Maybe you don't need Waterfall in this version, you do in the originals. I know for a fact, well, I know nothing for a fact because I'm stupid, but I think I know for a fact that, and that sentence doesn't make any sense at all, you need Waterfall, right? In the Victory Road here. So I can always reteach it to Cup. I gave Cup Bug Buzz and Secret Power. Secret Power just because I needed something to fill it out, and it's the only TM that I had that you can learn. So we might just get rid of Secret Power again and go back to... That wasn't a good idea, was it? That wasn't a good idea on my part at all. We might go back to... Rock... You're weak to rock types. We literally did this like 2 days ago from my perspective with the live streams where we had to face Price in Pokemon Crystal Clear. And I figured, hey, I have Rock Slide. I can absolutely demolish this entire gym. And then I make the stupid mistake thinking it's a ground type that I need, not a rock type. And you're getting a lot of critical hits, Glacian. I'm not really all that happy about that. So please die. This is only the first Pokemon of some random trainer that we're facing in Victory Road. I am terrified about the Elite Four and the champions themselves. Volcarona. You probably won't outspeed. If you outspeed, I'm fucked. If you don't outspeed, which you don't, you're fucked. Because that is quite effective. Bye-bye Volcarona. That was a little bit scary there for a moment. I'll admit that much. That was a little bit scary. Next up, we have an Executor, which we can just stay in with Roller. I keep forgetting how good Roller actually is, because this will be quite effective as well, and Roller is so goddamn fast, it's unreal. So we're going to heal up after this battle, because I don't want to get sent back to the Pokemon Center and have to go back through Victory Road if I can help it at all. Gliscor is a bit more of an issue. But you're a poison type, aren't you? I'm gonna look this up. I always get Gliscor's typing mixed up. I also got a comment, which is not something on my own videos. So, Gliscor. Let's see what your typing is. You are a Where is your typing? Ground and flying. So you are ground and flying. So Landorus isn't unique in that typing. I always get that mixed up. I always think you're poison because you have poison heal as one of your potential abilities. But that means that we're going to go into Cup and we're going to surf. In the meantime, let's look over. I was talking. There's actually an interesting topic. I was talking to somebody on Discord in not my server, another server, about potential Gen 4 remakes, and a lot of people seem to think that Gen 4 remakes are going to be the end of Gen 8, and I very much doubt it personally. And what are we gonna do? I'm just going to fork. I don't care. The general argument that I hear is that look at the pattern. Look at the pattern of remakes. And there isn't any pattern. There isn't. The pattern that people think they see usually is either they do it every other generation, which is just straight up not true, or they release remakes of the generation when the number of the generation is doubled, which pretty much comes down to every other generation as well, but with more extra steps. So let's go through this. You've got Gen 3, where they remade Gen 1. Then in Gen 4, they remade Gen 2. That's not every other generation already. Then they did skip a generation. That is true. They did skip a generation. You took that way too well. And then in Gen 6, they remade Gen 3. Then they skipped a generation, and now people are expecting, because they've skipped a generation literally once, that there's going to be a new remake. That is not a pattern. Like, statistically speaking, for something to be classified as even a very unreliable but a pattern, you need 3 data points. Because otherwise, well, you could say 2 data points is a pattern. I don't want to say that's a pattern. 2 data points is a correlation. That at most, right? That's not a pattern. You need 3 data points for something to be a pattern. Like, I don't know what it was. It was something to do with COVID cases or something like that. And people saying, they're growing exponentially, and then giving 2 data points. That is not how exponents work. You can't tell based on 2 data points whether or not a growth is exponential. Of course, the growth was exponential, so at the end of the day, they just didn't give a very good example as to why they said we gotta watch out for exponential growth, because it was, but they just didn't do a very good job. Well, the same applies here, right? We've had Game Freak skip a generation and then make a remake the generation afterwards, literally once. And that is leading people to expect to have that same thing happen again. And I very much do not think that Flash. At least it's not actually Gen 3 Flash, because that sucks. I think they're going to go Gen 9, and hear me out on this one. Because the Switch is slowly nearing the end of its lifespan, most likely. We've got a new PlayStation, a new Xbox already. Nintendo is always a couple of years offset from the console generation cycle just because they don't want to directly compete with the other two. So that means that the Switch is probably going to get a follow-up, a new console, a next generation in about 2 years. Seems so far that seems about correct, right? And Gen 8 has been such a PR nightmare for anything Pokemon related that I don't think they necessarily want to release something they know has a lot of anticipation behind it, because Gen 4 is mostly when people my age and a little bit younger started to play Pokemon. Like, a lot of people that are still playing now started playing in Gen 3 and or 4. Obviously, Gen 1 and 2 people are still around as well, but I would argue that like the timing for Gen 4 remakes right now is very hot. I agree with that, but I don't think the timing is going to be any less significant 3 or 4 years from now. Maybe a bit. I'll admit that much, but I do think if they release a absolutely fantastic game to start off Gen 9 and then, based on that hype, get in a Gen 4 remake, that'll sell so much better. Downside being is it would be on a new console. And new consoles have the issue that not everybody has them, so your sales figures might be a little bit lower. Then again, Pokemon definitely is a title that can and has and will sell consoles. So, just based on that, I know Pokemon has a history of being behind the curve on releasing on the latest console. They released Black and White at the very end of the DS's life cycle, and I think Black and White 2 were released even because they were a sequel directly to Black and White on the DS when the 3DS was already a thing. So that is actually a good argument to like disprove my theory of it being a Gen 9 based thing. And part of that is also a bit of wishful thinking, because I don't think that they would do the Distortion World. And I know if they're doing a Diamond and Pearl remake, it's not Platinum, so there's not necessarily going to be a Distortion World. But let's be honest, there's probably going to be a Distortion World area in the Gen 4 remakes. I don't think, based on what I see, what Gen 8 looks like at the moment, they could do the Distortion World justice either just on the Switch or in specifically the engine they use for Gen 8. They might be able to like optimize it a lot between releases and have things run and look a lot better by the time they get to a Gen 4 remake, but I don't see it being implemented in Gen 8 personally. The counter-argument to that obviously being, well, they already had a lot of PR damage through Gen 8, so to make up for that, maybe a Gen 4 remake will balance it out a little bit. And that is actually a fair argument. And pretty much just as valid as the argument of they probably just want to leave Gen 8 behind as soon as possible. My other point there is that I think Pokemon Let's Go sold fairly well, and they probably want to do a little bit more on that. So I could also see them doing a Let's Go for Johto, and I know I think they've said that wasn't planned at all. Or was the thing that they didn't say it was planned? Because they didn't say Gen 4 remakes were planned. I don't remember the details there, I'll be honest with you. But I don't know. I really do feel like they're not going to make Gen 4 remakes this generation. I really don't think so. Because by the time they get around to doing that, there will be a new console. Or there will be a new console like a year later. And I just can't see them... I just can't see them doing that. And historically, they have done that before. Historically, they've done that a lot. I don't know. There's never been a situation where there was a new console around the corner when they did a remake, though, now I think about it. Because we had Fire Red and Leaf Green. The Fire Red and Leaf Green weren't that close to the release of the DS, because after Fire Red and Leaf Green, we still had Admiral, which was still before the DS release, I'm fairly sure. And then we had Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which was nowhere near the release of the 3DS, because we had the entirety of Gen 5 still to go through. So, oh, and that is somebody taxi. Well, actually, I think that's a Facebook sound. Let's use more revives, I guess. And then we had the Gen 3 remakes on Gen 6, which we had an entire generation before we went into a new console there as well. So, I don't think we've ever really had a situation to compare this to, honestly. I don't think we do. Because I am very sure, I am very, very sure that within the next 2 or so years, maybe it's going to be like 2.5, but within the next 2 years, give or take a few months, there will be like a Switch 2 or whatever. Knowing Nintendo, it's probably going to be something gimmicky, and it's probably going to fail horribly, because that's... If we're talking about a patent, if we're talking about patents, especially patents to do with every other generation, Nintendo has consistently... Ow, something hurt there in my throat. Nintendo has consistently, over the past like 3 like 3 cycles of this, I think. So 6 generations, something like that. Gone very successful, absolute flop. Very successful, absolute disappointment with their consoles. We had the Nintendo 64, which was probably... I mean, compared to the PlayStation, it wasn't more successful necessarily speaking, but it was competing. Then we had the Nintendo GameCube, which has a very, very good library, but didn't sell that well at all. It was a bit of a downgrade as far as business success goes. Then we had the Wii, which I think is, aside from the PlayStation 2, maybe even more so than the PlayStation 2, the most selling console of all time. I think the PlayStation 2 might have more sales. Let's look this up. Because I am very curious at this point. Best selling consoles of all time. I'm fairly sure that the Wii or the PlayStation 2, and then the DS. Okay, but that's the DS family. Hold on a moment. We'll keep going with this fight as I read this article on Wikipedia. Let's go into Roller. We have the PlayStation 2 with 155 million units sold, which is the number 1 apparently. Then we have the entire Nintendo DS family, but let's be honest about that one, because that includes the DS Lite, and the DSi, which DSi was kind of like an in-between generations kind of deal. So I don't really consider that, to be fair. Then we have Game Boy and Game Boy Color grouped together. That is not okay. The Game Boy and the Game Boy Color are 2 very distinct and different consoles, because you have Game Boy Color games exist. There are a lot of games that will not run on a Game Boy, but will run on a Game Boy Color. So I don't know what the hell this Wikipedia article is on, thinking that you can just group together the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. It does have a note. Let's see if we have a note. Nintendo only provided combined sales before Game Boy Color was released. Okay, so that's a Nintendo-related thing. Still, it's stupid. So I don't like that. Then we have the PlayStation 4, which I actually did not expect to have that many sales. But the PlayStation 4 apparently has 113.5 million sales worldwide. Then we have the original PlayStation with 102.49, same thing, million sales. So pretty much 102.5 million sales. And then we have the Nintendo Wii with 101.63 million. So it's actually a little bit lower on this list than I initially expected. But if you take out the DS family and the Game Boy and Game Boy Color being combined, it's up way higher. And the PlayStation 2 actually also has a note next to it. So let's read what that note is. Sony stopped reporting individual platform sales on regular basis in 2012. Yeah, but at that point, it doesn't really matter too much anymore, does it? There's Lepros as being a bit of an issue. I guess we go into a roller next. So, yeah, the Wii sold very well, is what I'm trying to get at. Then the Wii U was an absolute failure of a console. Like, probably, maybe actually the worst since the Virtual Boy for Nintendo. It was a bad situation. And then we have the Switch. So, if we're talking about patents, the next console is going to be an absolute letdown. Hopefully not, but it very well could be. And the downside to that entire... I'm not really... That's not great for me, is it? I've got nothing to hit Shedinja with. I do. Never mind. I do. I've got air slash. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the reason Nintendo can fairly easily make it through those kind of failures is, number one, they have more money than God. But number two is, the reason they have so much money is because their handhelds always fairly consistently... Focus Ash. Their handhelds always fairly consistently do well. So... I mean... I'll just quiver dance. I guess. So that makes up for the lost revenue in the home consoles. But now that they've kind of combined that with the Switch, it's going to be real difficult to uncombine those. So I'm expecting Nintendo to be stuck with this whole hybrid console thing for a while. They very well could just like spin the Switch off into being the new handheld thing with the Switch Lite and stuff like that. A while. And then start a new console line with home consoles. They could very well do that. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But then at that point the question becomes, which console line is going to be home to Pokemon? Because Pokemon has always been a handheld franchise. Then the Switch was both handheld and non-handheld. So it was on the Switch. But if they were to split those apart again, what would happen to Pokemon? Would Pokemon go back to being handheld, or would it stay on the home console? Is it going to be relevant at all? Because I honestly don't feel like Nintendo is going to split those things up again. Handheld consoles... We've got phones now, we've got smartphones, so we don't really need handheld consoles anymore. At least that is the opinion of a lot of companies, it seems, and I can see that. I can see why, because if you're releasing not a great matchup type-wise, if you're releasing a game to be played on the go, you can either put it on phones, which is generally a lot easier to get to a lot of people with, or you can release it on a arbitrary console, which is going to require optimizations a lot more than it would from like an Android or iOS perspective. And on one of them, it's kind of accepted that you're just going to throw in microtransactions, and on the other it isn't. So I'll leave it up to you to decide which one is which in this example. But I can definitely see why they would lean towards mobile development rather than handheld console development. We're screwed, by the way. We are not doing well at all. I am going through my revives very quickly. And I have a decent amount of money, so I can buy more revives, I can buy more full restores for the fights coming up ahead next episode, but still, things are dying at a not very fun rate, because everybody apparently now has a Mega Evolution on their team, not just story important people anymore, and that is not good for me. Because I have 0 Mega Evolutions, because I decided not to use any of the Pokemon the game gives me, because I am doing a Monotype run. So what were we talking about before I started ranting? Because that was not a relevant text. Okay, we'll check that after the recording. Because I don't remember. I really don't remember. Is this where we have to go? I am so lost. Sure, let's fight you. I was gonna say, I probably should have gotten some... You're Street Fog. What the hell are you doing in a cave? Are you gonna rob me? Because that's kind of what everybody does when they lose to them. So what's the difference between a thug in the Pokemon universe and a normal trader? Because you always take my money when I lose to you, which seems really kind of fucked up because I'm 10. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? He's stealing. Then again, having your money stolen, or won, let's be honest, stolen, by a 10-year-old might be worse as being an adult. I don't know which side of that actually is worse. I don't know what is super effective against Rapier now. I think Ground actually is super effective against Rapier. And then again, you're such at low HP at this point that it's probably not going to matter too much what you're weak against, because pretty much anything is going to kill you. And you have Aqua Tail. Really? You have Aqua Tail? No. No, you don't. That is bullshit. No. Crobat. Okay, Crobat we can actually deal with fairly easily. It's a bulky Pokemon, I know. It's a bulky Pokemon. It's a bulky and a fast Pokemon, which is a very unique type of combination. But let's see how you deal with a Psychic. Probably not too well. You're not faster than me, so maybe you're not that fast. Isn't the entire Golbat line like supposed to be really fast? Fast and bulky, that is. Never really... Okay, so you're definitely gonna die. I was talking about the Crobat, but Hair-Dye also dies. Hair-Dye. Oh, man, I'm fucking hilarious, aren't I? I'm gonna run out of revives. And it's not gonna be a good time. Let's go into Roller, because Roller has very good type coverage. Roller has high speed is pretty much what it comes down to. And you have a Weavile, which means actually that I can steamroller you super effectively. So Weavile is a Gunvile. You know, sometimes you try to make a joke and it doesn't land. Sometimes you try to make a joke and you find out it was hardly even a joke to begin with. Sometimes you accidentally stay in against a Toxicroak. People, shut the fuck up texting me! Wait a second, this is actually a different message. Well, of course it's a different message because, it's Discord on my phone. I joined the server today. And that did nothing, wow. I joined the server today and I hadn't muted it yet. And it was a message in that server. I was like, okay, I'll look into that after this recording. On my PC, it's muted, luckily. Discord in its entirety. But now, a different message in a different channel in that same server prompts me for another notification, which... I understand why Discord does that, but I'd also rather it didn't, and it's probably a setting somewhere that changes that, where, like, you don't get messages from individual channels, right? There has to be an option for that. But the way I go about dealing with that is just muting every server I enter the moment I enter it, and only opening the server and seeing messages sent in the server when I decide to actually open the server. This is going to be a Mega Bee drill, because everybody got a Mega! Oh, everybody in Elite 4 is also going to have a Mega. Oh, it's going to be a Mega Houndoom. I just know, because what other Mega Dark types are there? There aren't a lot. You outspeed me, I'm sorry, what? There aren't that many Dark types that can go Mega. Houndoom is one of them, but it's also a fucking Fire type, so that's going to be an issue. Then we have... I don't remember. I don't even think we needed to go here in the first place. I'm going to be real honest with you. But hey, let's use our last couple of revives, because I don't think we've got that many left. We have exactly 2 left, and we have 2 dead Pokemon. So, we have 1 more max revive, but I would very much like to keep that to use that inside of the Elite 4. Because I think the reason why is obvious. You can't buy max revives. Maybe you actually can buy max revives in this. I don't know. Now that I think about it. Very well could be the case that you can buy them. And this is where we need to use Waterfall, right? This is where... Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe? Maybe not. You seem like the type of person that I have no choice but to fight. You also seem like you might have a fighting type or two. I don't know if that is correct, but we're going to find out any moment now. No time for idle talk. Let's ask something. You are a expert. Starting off with a Chestnut, I'm gonna destroy you. Very sorry to say, but you are dead. You are a bitch. Because I'm going to... Doesn't Spike Shield usually, like, lower your attack? No, that's King Shield, isn't it? Spike Shield damages you if you use a contact move? Maybe? It's more than just protect, right? There was the entire thing about Gen 6. It introduced like about 20 different versions of protect. And I never can decide which one is which. Well, I don't have to decide, I just have to remember. Because there's also Quick Guard, and then there's like a tag team version of it as well. Or maybe that is Quick Guard. And I don't know how that differs from protect at all. The things are different from protect in one way or another, and there's like 5 of them. Well, at least 3 I know of. There might be more. I'm not paying attention to this fight at all, because everything is just dying to air slash, and it's kind of wonderful, honestly, because we're 30 minutes into this, and we still need to fight Wally. I was expecting this episode to be on the shorter side, and it's going to be like a 50-minute episode if this keeps up. Which, at least something can hit me! Oh my god, I almost feel like I'm being challenged. Oh wait, no, because air slash murders everything. I am aware that I'm a little bit over-leveled, but have you seen how much I've died so far? Being level 70, well, coming up on level 72 for most Pokemon on my team, isn't being over-leveled. It's compensating for the amount of bullshit Mega Blaziken is going to give me. I realized it was going to be Mega Blaziken. Which actually isn't going to help you too much, because you're going to get speed boost. But that only really works for you if you live, which you will not. So bye-bye Mega Blaziken. Probably one of my favorite Megas, honestly. Maybe because it was the first Mega I ever used. Because you, if you got Pokemon X and Y in the, like a month that it was released or something like that, there was a mystery gift event for a Torchic with a Blazikenite. And I got that, so I had a Torchic, and I had a... Oh my god, I think I actually got all 3 Fire-type starters. I had a Torchic, and then I also... I can't see where the hell I'm going. I think this might be the right-ish direction. Wait, you will look into the right and then notice me. How does that work? Also, there's a plane flying over. Okay, so maybe, if this goes on for too long, I'm actually going to end up cutting this episode into 2. Which would be... Could you shut up? I'm trying to record a video here. Thank you. I'm just lost. I'm just straight up lost. I have no idea where I'm going. I don't have any more revives. You outspeed me. And I don't know how I'm going to deal with the Noivern. I told you to shut up, I'm recording a video. So maybe we're not going to make it all the way through Victory Road today, because I'm going to look up a map. I'm going to look up a map. I am so sure that I'm going in the wrong direction. It's kind of insane. I have Rock Tomb, I just realized. Pokemon Omega Ruby. Man, sorry for the coughing. I just breathe in a thing, apparently. Victory Road. Let's see if we have a map on Google Images. Oh, we kind of do, but not really. You got a map of one of the floors. I've got a map here of the... Oh, you're a Dragon Tamer, so you're going to be a problem all the way through, aren't you? Yeah, this might just be the end for me. I can see a map of the original Ruby Sapphire Emerald version, but that is a different version, so that doesn't really help me. Is the thing. So let's open up this map over here. Oh, Bulbapedia actually has a complete set of maps. That is really fucking useful. We need to... Actually, I think we're going the right direction after all. Cop, I don't care. Because where are you right now? We are definitely on the underground portion. Which, what is Secret Power going to turn into? That's SmackDown, right? Huh. We're definitely on the lower portion right here. So... But it says it leads to a city. What the... I am confused, because there's no city. Is that the name of this little water thing where you face Wally? Is it called Practopolis City? No, that's the entrance. No, wait, but... I am confused. Is it like a different... Because the city where you... Let's focus here. The city where you go into and access Victory Road is Evergrande City. Is Practopolis City like a different language version of that and Bulbapedia just hasn't picked up on that yet? Because that kind of seems to be the case, if I'm being honest with you. You probably have Sturdy. I outspeed you. That means you are... Even if you have Sturdy, that's not really going to matter now, is it? You also have Earthquake. That was laughable. We might actually make it through here. Also, why the hell do you have a Steelix if you're a Dragon Type? Probably because it has Dragon Breath. We can stay in against Arbok, actually. I'm trying to figure out, because I think we're on the bottom left of the subterranean map. Which means if we go up the ladder that we can access right after fighting this dude, we come up the ladder and we can actually make our way to the exit. So if this is where I think it is, we're actually really fucking close to the exit, and I don't know how many more trainers are between the exit and me, other than, of course, Wally, which is probably gonna sweep me, honestly. Full disclosure, I didn't expect this episode to be this long. If we end up losing to Wally, I'm probably just gonna slot in Wally's fight with Mega Charizard. It's gonna be a dragon. It's gonna be the dragon one. I'm gonna probably slot it in with next episode. Because it's just gonna be a difficult fight as well. Fuck, I don't know why I went into Mass Train knowing that you're gonna turn into a dragon type. Fucking knew it! So how much is this gonna do? Even if you didn't turn into a dragon type, you would have still... That's half HP. You would have still had Drought. Wow, English, difficult. As your ability, which would still cut down my... That's actually genius, because you're no longer a flying type, so that doesn't give you any disadvantage. Huh. It would still cut my my power for Surf in half. So either way, Water type moves probably weren't my brightest idea here. But sometime soon, I'm gonna land a critical hit, or you're gonna Dragon Dance again, and I can just land the second Surf and kill you. And maybe actually make my way to the Wally fight, which is kind of mind-blowing, because I wasn't expecting that. We're 40 minutes into this. Again, if we lose against Wally, we are ending this episode, no matter what happens against Wally. But we actually... And we might not be where I am, where I think I am, which is also a real issue, if that is the case. But this really does seem like the bottom left of the map I just found on Bulbapedia. So that does mean that we can intimidate a ghost. That's not what that means, but we can apparently do that. I don't really think ghosts can be intimidated, because I don't think you can harm a ghost. Oh my god, we're actually doing this. I don't know, again, I need Roller. I need Roller. It's not a matter of I want Roller. Well, I also want Roller, but I need him. Because, again, the star member of my team. Not by as much as it used to be, but still a member of my team. I don't think the... there's one last fight here, is there? And it's a double fight. It's a double battle. This episode is going to be an hour long. If we actually make it to the 1 hour mark, I'm probably gonna cut the episode in two. Because our 1 hour video seems a bit excessive. If it's like 50 minutes, I'll keep it at 50 minutes. But if it's an hour, I'm gonna cut it up in two. Because that's just excessive. That's live stream length for me. So let's not do that. Okay, let's think about this. How does that even work? We can fly the Primeape. We can... Actually, better idea. We can Bug Buzz the Mushana, and we can Psychic the Primeape. I don't think either of these moves will kill, honestly. And this will probably kill. Critical hit didn't seem necessary. Didn't seem necessary at all. It didn't. It didn't kill. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna send out something which can deal with both of your star. We're not. Because Hair Dye is dead. We're going to send out Roller because this is kind of just my go-to guy. Honestly. And we can Steamroller the Mushana. We can Psychic the Primeape. And then next turn we can Steamroller whatever. We can pretty much just keep that up because one of these guys is always going to send out Psychic types, which are always going to be weak to Steamroller. And then the other is always going to send out Fighting types, which are always going to be weak against Psychic. Please don't attack. No. You lived. Oh my god. Did not expect you to survive that, Roller. You absolute beast. Okay, that's 2 down. Presumably they have 6 in total, right? Does that mean they can actually have 2 Megas? Because that would be kind of bad for me. Don't you dare have a Mega Gardevoir. Don't you dare. So I'm actually more scared of... I'm scared of both. Because they can both have moves that can really wreck me. That's not going to really help me, is it? Hyper Potion, Roller. There's no way we're going to win against Wally with a weakened team. Well, we might be able to take out the Gardevoir here. We did. Okay. So Pangoro is a little bit less scary. I don't know what it could have. Ice Punch. That doesn't seem like that big a deal, and you didn't even target the ground type with your Ice Punch, which seems highly stupid. And then now, you could also still have a Mega Medicham. You guys have 5 Pokemon between the two of you. That is very interesting. That means that these are the last 2 Pokemon, and you might just have 1 Mega? Well, you definitely, if you have a Mega, it's only gonna be this. Because you did Mega Evolve before. Wait, what did I do? Oh, they both have Steamroller. Sure, let's Steamroller both. You have a Mega Medicham. Okay. I don't think that's gonna matter too much. I mean, Fake Out is gonna deal a bit more damage because you have Technician, right? I think it has Technician. Which also means that I flinch and I can't use Steamroller this turn, which I probably should have seen coming. Somebody... Did you just flinch me twice? I think you might have just flinched me twice. That's not okay. At least Pangoro is dead. So we only have the Medicham to deal with. Towel is not going to survive this fight. Zanheadbutt is going to... Fuck. Maybe Tao's actually gonna win this fight. Nope. That's gonna have to be Fork, apparently. There's no way I'm beating Wally, but I'm not going through this entire cave again. At least not right now. Maybe like next episode, but... we win. There's no way you're surviving this bug boss. I don't even know what Wally's team is like. If I had a little bit more information about Wally's team, I would know what to lead with, at least. I don't have any more revives. I don't think I do. I'm gonna double check. Maybe. Nope. Okay, so what we have here is we have half a team. And that half a team consists of 2 of my least useful Pokemon. All my Pokemon are about equally useful. The most useful one's dead. I'm honestly thinking, by the way, that maybe your fight against Wally is one that you're allowed to lose. Something in the back of my mind tells me that might be the case. I don't think that it is. Alright, if we lose here or we have to do this again, next episode we get to listen to probably one of my favorite battle teams in the entirety of Pokemon. Twice. I really like the battle theme you get in the Delta episode. This is some good shit. I really like this song. I also like the idea that it starts before the actual battle starts. It's just like a tiny little. It's kind of like a little editing detail, which I appreciate. It's not a good matchup for me at all. I guess we can steamroller the Roserade. Battlelands is gonna leave a bit of damage on us, and steamroller will be neutral, right? Because of your poison typing. Yeah, we're gonna lose this. I should have used Psychic. Damn it! Probably wouldn't have taken you out because it wouldn't have been stabbed. So it wouldn't have done significantly more damage, and it would have been. At least you're confused. Okay. We can at least take out the Roserade. I'm fairly certain that a bug boss at this range will take out your Roserade. And I have Sucker Punch, so that surely counts for something. Didn't take you out, please hit yourself. Oh my god, you actually saved me. It's 1 Pokemon down, 5 to go. If we can do this, I'm gonna be very impressed with myself. Talonflame. We are so fucked. Because you're gonna have Gale Wings. And as such, you're gonna outspeed me. You're gonna Swords Dance. That might actually give me the chance to take you out. Paralysis! Paralysis! Full restore! Fuck! Okay. Get a critical hit. Something, please! You had a higher damage roll. That's something. Flare Blitz, that's it. We only have Knife left now. At least Flare Blitz is a recoil move, so Talonflame is also dead. But I can't see Parasect taking out the rest of the entire team here. That just doesn't seem likely, even at level 73. Thank you for that extra experience, but that's not going to make that big of a difference. That being said, I am now facing a Water type, so this might actually go in my favor. Still, you use Play Rough, which I can regain HP. Oh my god. That did fucking nothing. Which, yes, I have to use X-Scissor instead. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm very dead. And that's resist. Of course, that's resist. Damn it. Okay, we lost. And as I said, if the video was only going to be about 50 minutes, I'd keep it one video. We're facing Wally next time. There's going to be 6 battles back to back to back to back to back to back to back. The main benefit there is, number 1, I'm going to have an entire team. Number 2, they're all going to be leveled appropriately for the actual Elite Four. So they're going to be significantly higher leveled than they were this time around. And pretty much all the trainers between me and Wooly are also going to be already defeated. So that's been Victory Road. I said we were going to do Victory Road today. I never said that we were going to come out the other way. I just said that we would do the dungeon. And we did the entirety of the dungeon. We just failed at the very last step because, my god, that Victory Road is brutal. I'll see you all back next time. Until then, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you have enjoyed this video, which hopefully you have more than I did. Because I got humiliated a bit. More so humbled, really. I'll see you back next time. Bye.